The reality is that most people spend their entire lives accomplishing the goals of others and spend very little time accomplishing their own goals. Well, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that today. I'm going to show you how you can accomplish your goals. In fact, I'm going to show you how you can accomplish in 24 hours what most won't even accomplish in an entire lifetime. I recently finished reading Eric Thomas's You Owe You, and I'll put a link to this down in the description. It's a fantastic book. We're going to lean on it a lot in this video. What we're going to do is we're going to answer 3 basic questions. What, how, and why. We're keeping it simple. And the best part is, you already have the tools. You don't need a special course. You don't need special resources. You have what you need. All you need to do is start taking action. And by watching this video, that is exactly what you are doing. My name is Norberto Orellana, and I am an expert in unlocking human potential. I went from homeless to homeowner, from broke to entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and venture capitalist. I went from obesity and cerebral palsy to living a healthy and active life. I've had the privilege of helping thousands of people over the past decade unlock their true potential and get on the path to greatness. And now it's your turn. So let's dive into our first question, and it's what? And the answer is, get started. For me, that looks like starting this YouTube channel. I've given myself all the excuses. I've tried it and then stopped, but I'm doing it this time and I'm sticking with it. For me, it also looked like writing a book, and I've got that book right here. It's my own memoir. Most people have dreams like writing a book or starting a YouTube channel. Millions of people do. And the sad fact is that the vast majority of them won't do it. Not because they lack the capability, not because they lack the resources necessarily, just because they lack the effort. And not just that, they lack getting started in the first place. We love to come up with all sorts of excuses. If you were to go write a book right now, having never written one, or starting a YouTube channel like I am, having never really done it before, you're gonna suck. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna look good. You're gonna have issues. You're gonna get headaches along the way. But by doing it, that's how you get better. And intrinsically, you know that fact. When you think about starting a YouTube channel, you're comparing yourself to people like Mr. Beast. Or if you're in the self-improvement space, maybe someone like an Ali Abdaal, a Grant Cardone, a Graham Stephan. Or if you're thinking about writing a book, you're thinking about the greats. You're thinking about the Hemingways, the Orwells, the Steinbecks of the world. And you're not it yet. You could get there, but you're not it. You're competing against the wrong people. And that brings us to our first foundational quote from the book. Look in the mirror. That's your competition. You are competing against you. You've already thought of that person, that version of you that has 1 million subscribers, that is a New York Times best-selling author, that already has the millions of dollars, the fancy house, or travels all over the world, or who lives off the grid, whatever it is that dream is of yours. You've thought of that person. And by doing so, willed that person into existence. That person exists. There is a path for you to get there. And that person has done those things. They have suffered. They have sacrificed. They have put in the work. They're reaping the rewards. They're enjoying that life. Why can't that be you? Why can't you become that person? So that's who you're competing against. And what I want you to do right now is ask yourself, and take a second to write it down. What is one dream, one big project, one big ambition that you've wanted to accomplish but haven't even started yet? Now that you've got that, we can move on to how. And the answer is simple. Stop giving yourself excuses. The good, the bad, and the ugly are all your fault. And that brings us to our next quote. Meaningful success begins when we take ownership and responsibility for our part in the shortcomings of life. We delude ourselves if we think we're devoid of any responsibility, even for the things that seem totally out of our control. We've still got a little bit of responsibility in there. So when we go back to that project or dream that you just wrote down, and you start asking yourself, why am I not a millionaire? Why am I not a successful YouTuber? Why am I not an author? There is one person who is at fault, and that person is you. There is no boogeyman. It's not the government's fault. It's not some other person's fault. It's not your childhood's fault. It's not your parents, your siblings. The mysterious, ethereal boogeyman that we're searching for to cast blame upon is no one else but ourselves. And you know, Eric Thomas's quote reminded me of another quote from the comedian Jimmy Carr. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant man. And he said something to the effect of that we give empathy to those that we like and give agency to those that we dislike. And essentially what he was saying was, when someone is going through trials, tribulations, and it's someone we like, we tend to give them a lot more sympathy. And we tend to take the agency away from them. Well, they're a victim. Of course they're a victim. It's not their fault. But if those same circumstances happen to someone we dislike, we do the exact opposite. Obviously, it's all their fault. It's all their doing. They did it on purpose. They got themselves in this situation. And what Jimmy really tries to tell us is we need to do a little bit of both. That's the healthy solution. To those that we like, we need to give both empathy and agency, and do the same to those that we dislike, because the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And you know who the person is we tend to like the most? It's ourselves. We give ourselves all the empathy and none of the agency. When something bad happens, it's because we're a victim, we're marginalized. We are the victim of our story. What we need to do is reel back some of that responsibility, and that doesn't mean be cold and apathetic towards your circumstances, but it also means splashing yourself with a cold dose of reality from time to time, that you have responsibility in some of the circumstances you're in, and responsibility to get yourself out of them. I'm going to use YouTube as an example because that's what I'm doing right now. If you've ever wanted to start a YouTube channel, you've probably had the thoughts of, I don't have the right equipment. What am I going to talk about? Are people going to enjoy my videos? Is it going to be embarrassing at first? I don't know what I'm doing. That is the voice of the boogeyman, that ethereal person that we're looking to blame for everything in our lives. That is the voice of the oppressor, our inner oppressor. That is the barrier that we are breaking down. So if YouTube's your goal and you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have the right equipment, record a video anyways. If you're thinking to yourself, well, I'd love to become a millionaire, but I don't know what sort of business I'm going to start, at least start researching, at least start putting your thoughts on paper. Start taking action right now. And hopefully you're feeling just a little bit more energized that you can actually make progress. But look, I know in your head right now there's a nagging voice that's asking you, why should I do this? Why now? Why put in the effort? Why bother? Why? And I'm glad you asked, because that's our final question that we're going to answer. And it's why. And the answer is extremely simple. It returns to the title of the book that we've been referencing in this video. You owe you. It's as simple as that. And another quote I want to share with you from the book is, you cannot afford to live in potential for the rest of your life. At some point, you have to unleash the potential and make your move. I like to think of it this way. You are currently in an Olympic-sized swimming pool of potential. You have two options: swim or tread water until you drown. You have all this opportunity before you. Don't let your dreams and your goals die and wither away, especially when you have the potential to accomplish all of them and then some. You know who you could become. And if not for anyone or anything else, at least do it for you. The last quote I want to share with you from You Owe You is, you must be willing to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. It doesn't come easy, and that's fine. It wasn't meant to be easy. It wasn't meant to be a straight path forward. You're going to take action because you're going to stop making excuses, and because you know deep down that you owe you. Do this, especially when it's hard. especially when the odds seem stacked against you and your mind is saying this is impossible and you feel the weight of the world coming down upon your shoulders. Do this. Take action. Even if you fail time and time again, take action. Because one day, by doing so, you will become something exceptionally rare. And that day will come sooner than you think. So take a step forward right now, whatever that goal is. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, just take a step forward for the sake of taking a step, and then tomorrow do the same. You'll be ahead of 99% of others. While you are recording your awful YouTube video that has terrible lighting and probably isn't scripted well, or you're writing the first page of your book and there are typos everywhere, grammar mistakes everywhere, what you have done is something that thousands, if not millions of others across the world were thinking about doing, but didn't do because they didn't see a point, because they made excuses. Just by taking the small action, you've put yourself among an elite group who are willing to do, who are willing to sacrifice, who are willing to give their dreams a chance. And one of the great things is by doing all of this, you're going to want even more. You're going to realize that you've barely even tapped into your potential, that the dreams you've had barely even scratch the surface of who you could truly become. And that's where this channel comes in. All the things that you're thinking about right now, all the things that you've thought about, you can achieve them and more. And I hope you realize that. That's why I'm doing this channel, to help you unlock your true greatness, to reach your true human potential. So make sure you subscribe to this channel right now so that you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos that are going to help you tap into the greatness and the tools that you already have at your disposal. You just haven't realized they're there. We are going to unlock your meteoric potential, as I like to call it, across all facets of life. This isn't about succeeding in one area, financial, and then sacrificing relationships, or getting good fitness and sacrificing in other areas. This is about having it all. This is about living a well-rounded life to your utmost potential. This is the journey I'm on right now, and I consider myself to only just be getting started. So what are you waiting for? You've got plenty of time to catch up to me and walk alongside me, and I can't wait for you to join me on this journey. See you next time.